we have a post here. This pertains to tanks and proper etiquette. So I wanted to kind of go into this myself because I'm a tank and I main a tank, and I have played as DPS and have come across this a couple times, but especially now in Dawntrail, this could be a problem. Not a big problem, but an annoying problem, right? For people who have to wait. So let's read this real quick to give context, and then I will go into what you should and should not do as a tank from my point of view, as a tank main, Dark Knight main, more specifically. So what is proper duty etiquette for tanks with dead groups? And dead groups doesn't mean like people that are, you know, dead on the ground, not just not playing. I haven't played since about a month after Endwalker. The post-expansion story wasn't enough to keep me subscribed. I played Red Mage and Endwalker and decided this time I wanted to be a tank, so I busted out Warrior, which I've leveled to 90 before quitting. I'm pretty good at Warrior, but back in the day, it wasn't uncommon for my group to die on a boss, and I'd be able to solo the boss the rest of the way. Usually, the group would be singing my praises and enjoying the show as I ran around avoiding mechanics and taking down a boss by myself. That's the first problem. Fast forward to now, I was on a second duty for Endwalker and my group all died to a single mechanic at about 90%. I soloed the boss from 90 to 0 and was kicked as soon as I finished. I saw in the chat that only after I finished the boss was trying to focus that they had asked if I could just die so we could all kill the boss. Turns out they were pretty upset and kicked me. I thought they'd be happy I finished the boss so we didn't have to go through that again. I ended up reporting all the individuals. And I wanted to check the general consensus here of why you wouldn't want someone to kill the boss if it's at all possible instead of wasting time on a retry. The irony of that last little sentence there. First thing, let's start with that second little paragraph up there. Usually the group would be singing my praises and enjoying the show as I ran around avoiding mechanics and taking down the boss myself. So first off, if you're at 90% on a boss and everybody dies and you're a tank or whoever it is, tank, DPS, healer, whatever. If you're at 90%, and everybody, the whole party's dead except one person, you should not try to solo the boss. That takes forever. So you're trying to avoid wasting time on a retry. You're actually spending way more time soloing the boss than you would if you just wipe it out and just reset. Get everybody in there, especially as a tank. Your job as a tank is to just keep the boss upset with you, so the DPS jobs can do the DPS. Like, yeah, sure, tanks do pretty good, but most damage comes from all the DPS jobs, like Samurai, or Reaper, or Viper, Pictomancer. That's where most of the damage comes from. So you're wasting everybody's time by doing that. It was kind of bad on you. If you're like 10%, 15% health, and everybody dies, of course, try to finish it out. But 90, that's insane. That's full health bar. That would take so long. I would be upset. Then he goes on to say, I saw in chat only after I finished the boss, was trying to focus as an excuse, that they'd asked if I could just die so we can kill the boss. Always pay attention to chat, especially if you're a tank. There could be people talking about things in there that you need to know, and it's just nice to have the party chat up while you're in a dungeon or whatever with the party. And if someone's asking you, if most of the people in the group are asking you, hey, let's die so we can do this together, or stop wasting our time, it's gonna take you forever, you're at 90%, dude. Yeah, you should have been paying attention to chat. You know, and they had every right to be upset. Now, them kicking you off rip after the boss was, I don't know, that's kind of whatever. I guess if all three of them were upset with you, then yeah, that would be fine, because tanks are pretty common, so you can probably get another one in there pretty quickly. So that does suck that they kicked you, but you kind of did have it coming because you made them wait for a good chunk of time while you soloed the boss. So that does kind of suck for both ends. But I mean, hopefully you learned your lesson on that one. Don't do that. Like I said, 10-15% health is fine, but man, 90% health, that's crazy. That's so much. That is so much health. Something else you need to take into consideration is that this could be their first time doing the dungeon, and they might want the experience of completing the dungeon properly. So if you're a tank and you're at 90% health, or they're at 90% health, the boss is, and you make this new player on this first time doing a dungeon or whatever, whether it be Endwalker or Dawntrail, especially Dawntrail, this where it's new. Don't do this in new expansions, especially. It's bad all around, but don't do it in new expansions. They might want the experience like the physical experience or the joy of whatever of completing the dungeon with with the group, and as opposed to waiting and watching someone else do it for them. So don't do that. Just don't do that. And then this one right here says, I thought they'd be happy. I finished the boss, so we didn't have to go through it again. You finished the boss by yourself by taking, again, 10 to 15 minutes just on that single boss. Like, no one wants to just sit there and watch someone do that from that high of health. You know, that's not really impressive. If you want to do that and you don't want to worry about any of that stuff, use the trust system. You know, take some of the NPCs in there with you and just kind of do it that way. You know, I'm sure they'll be happy. They'll be fine. I'm watching you do all that. I ended up reporting all the individuals, but wanted to check on general consensus here. You ended up reporting all the individuals. This is crazy to me. This is shame on the person that wrote this, unfortunately. There was no reason for you to report them because you're the one that wasted their time. You didn't pay attention to your chat for them telling you, hey, let's not do this, let's do it together so we can get it out of the way. If anyone was to be reported, it would have been you. I would have expected that outcome, but you reported all three of them because they wanted you to die so that you weren't making them wait for an extended period of time while you were trying to get praises sung to you as you soloed a boss from 90% health. It sounds like you got a bit of an ego problem, but maybe not. I could be jumping the gun there. It's just, this stuff is frustrating to me because it puts a bad name on tanks, man. You can't do that. Pay attention to your chat. Even if you're not a tank, and pay attention to your chat, because people can be saying things that are important that you need to listen to. You need to hear. You know, most times that's not the case, but in this circumstance it was the case. You know, as a tank, take that back, as a party member in a dungeon, pay attention to your chat. You don't have to say anything in chat, but at least pay attention to it in case something's going on. You know, do that. Do not try to solo a boss from near full health to 0. That's an insane waste of time. It wastes so much more time than if you were to just wipe and just go back over and retry it with a full party. Okay, so don't be that guy. Again, if it's near death, of course, go for it. You know, if it's 2 people left, you got a tank and a healer left. The healer can typically start raising people. No big deal. Try to save it. You know, that's no big deal. If it's a tank and a DPS alive and it's full health, you probably need to wipe because it's going to take a while. So, but yeah, that's my thoughts. I kind of want to touch on this because I saw this. I saw Zeppelin talk about it on stream, and I found it. I wanted to kind of go over it myself because as a tank main, this does happen. I've seen it happen at least twice as a DPS, as I was on DPS leveling other jobs. So we don't want that. If you're a tank, don't be that guy. That's all. For more Final Fantasy XIV content and all things Final Fantasy XIV, be sure to like and subscribe for more. I'll be gotten guides coming out. I have guides coming out on mounts and minions and leveling tips and all this stuff for 14. So I'll be covering it extensively. Dawntrail, I have one video out right now that showcases all of the mounts that are currently available. As far as we know, I'll post that up here. I also stream live on YouTube in a vertical format for your phone or horizontal format for people who like to watch on their computer over on Twitch. So those are also linked down in the descriptions. Be sure to check those out if you want to watch. Currently playing through Final Fantasy X for the first time. So just got past the little Seymour part. So it's been a lot of fun. And of course, shout out to my YouTube members. You guys are awesome. And I appreciate you guys supporting the channel and supporting me. You guys are the GOATs. And as always, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.